I hope you're ready because we have some crazy questions.
I'm as ready as I can be.
Okay, all right. I don't know if I want to. Are we going to go to some stuff about you, some sex stuff, some relationship stuff? So
Okay.
we have about 15 minutes. We have about 15 minutes. So let's see what we can get
Okay.
in those
All right.
15 minutes.
Well, and
All right. So
I'll talk about anything, and so you never know what's going to come out of my mouth, and I will just
I'm.
answer questions honestly. So,
We are in for it. I'm ready though. I'm ready for you, Stacy. Let's go.
all right.
I'm going to start easy. So someone asked if you are single.
Am I single?
Yeah.
Single related to so I'm unmarried. I'm not married, but I do have a boyfriend. Yes.
Okay. So I wonder, let me see, is that technically considered single? I think it's not. I say no. No, seriously. Because some people say if you're married, if you're not married, then you're single. I totally disagree.
Yeah.
I think
Well,
if
it
I
depends
think
on
if you're in a committed relationship. Hmm.
yeah, it depends on if you're talking about like US Department of Census. Well, if I have to check a box, then technically I'm single, but yes, I'm in
Right.
I am actually in a committed monogamous relationship. Yes.
And you know what I've learned that a lot of times you could be in a relationship and it's more serious than a lot of marriages that are out
Mm,
there.
sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm in the same boat. Marriage isn't for me. Have you ever considered marriage?
Have I ever considered marriage?
Yeah. Hmm. Or no, 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 no. Let me say, in the future, are you considering marriage?
Oh. I would say, gosh, nothing like making me blush and putting me on the spot. Because
That's my
my,
job.
my boyfriend is sitting in the room with me.
Oh
Um,
no, you can't be politically correct now. Let it out.
so I would say that prior to this relationship, it was a hell no. Um,
Hmm.
would I consider it now? Possibly, yeah.
Uh-oh, you
Which
hear that,
surprises
boyfriend?
me.
He's
What?
listening to that. I said he's listening to that.
Right. And my heart is like pounding right now.
Butterflies. Are those butterflies?
Yeah, it's not relevant though because he's getting a divorce, so it doesn't
Oh,
matter.
okay, okay. I'm staying out of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. 10-foot pole, like 6 social distancing, Luke, from some of these
I,
subjects.
I
Good
felt
grief.
myself getting deeper and deeper. So
Right.
yeah. Next question.
Yes.
How do I have more sex in my relationship?
How do you have more sex?
Hmm. Not
Well,
me. This is a question.
yeah. Just a general question. Um, so, hmm, that's a great question, and I mean, it's probably like, well, at least for men, probably
Hmm.
their biggest desire, right? So,
Yeah.
really being tuned in to um, your partner, and if you're hetero, then that's the woman in your life. um so yeah, being like, so we kind of talked about this a little bit around like some other things, right? That there's this, in my world as a companion, there's this level of trust that two people have to engage in.
Hmm.
um and for relationships, I'm really big on taking radical responsibility. And so I really look at, okay, I can't change somebody else. I can
Hmm.
only change in it myself. Um, and so when there's that question and it's like you want more sex, but you don't know how to make the other person want more sex with you, right?
Right.
Then it's like
Right.
you got to get tuned in to what are their rhythms. And if you come at it from the attitude of what am I going to get? What am I getting out of this? How can I
Hmm.
make this happen? Like I totally, like, this is what I call it. So when I'm in a place where maybe I'm not really in the mood, okay? And so this is
Hmm.
relevant to, I deal with this too, right? So
Hmm.
then sometimes if someone comes at me with like all of this kind of like sexual energy, like, hey baby, let's get it on tonight, I kind of feel like a bag of dicks just got thrown at me. And I'm like, so
I
if you
got
can
you.
imagine
I
like,
got you.
yeah, or even like a laundry basket of just like dicks just flying everywhere, right? And I'm like, no, it's just like dick pics. Chicks are like, oh my
Right.
God, no, delete, delete.
And see, one thing that I noticed about that question was how do I? So instead of saying how can I have, how can my relationship be more intimate or something like that, what seems like it'll be a more appropriate question. Because when you say how do I have more, you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, you can pay for it, but if you want to have it with your mate, then I think,
Right.
like you said, there needs to be a little bit more than just sex. You have to conquer the mental aspect of it.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm with you.
and I know that like, um, one of my very first kind of thoughts when I was first kind of back in the industry that I wanted to, like get to women and just be like, uh, um, kind of the same, like the way to a man's heart is through his cock. And so,
Hmm.
yes, like if I could talk to women, I would also be saying to them, like, hey, get more connected with yourself and your sexuality, get connected with your man, and also realize that for him, sex is intimate and emotional. And for women, like for me, it's not like, oh, you can like kiss me a certain way or touch me a certain way. For me, it's eye contact. It's like
Hmm.
asking me how my day was. Those are the things that get my body stirred up. Like my heart expands. I feel happy, and those are the things that I need to kind of, and I'm someone who's, I'm really in touch with my body and the things that I want and the things that, give me pleasure. I'm, released a lot of my shame. So, so these are
Hmm.
all things that I'm comfortable with. And yet it still takes me some time to get kind of, you know, um, revved up, so to speak, to get the engine on, which is, part of the physiological differences between men and women. Like you
Hmm.
guys, you're already there. Like you're already throbbing, right?
Right.
It takes a lot for me to get to the point where I'm throbbing, and so for
I
me,
think,
yeah, go ahead.
no, I think with as men get a little bit older, it's more than just the throbbing. You know what I mean?
Oh
I think
yeah,
as we get older, we want more than that. So
right.
yeah, but for the most part, there are some mornings when I'm waking up and it's like you said, it's let's go. So
Yeah. Yeah, and most
so yeah,
likely, she's not there, or maybe
right.
some people are morning people, but it definitely takes, and that's especially a time when I'm like, oh, there came a dick. Oh, another dick coming at me.
It can happen.
But yeah, so really, it's about getting connected and getting reconnected with the things that you love about each other and the things that made you laugh, and
Hmm.
and it's just like, if you really want those things, staying in your anger and resentment and your why did you and how come you didn't and all of that, that's not going to get you more sex. It's just not. Like,
Right.
you've got to shift your mindset with that person that you really loved at one time. And if you can't go there, then you probably need to reevaluate your relationship.
All right. What observations do what observations do you have on why people cheat? That's a good one.
Mm.
That's a really good one.
So, well, I mean, the most foundational answer is that they have a need that
Hmm.
they feel like they, well, and I guess I could say a desire or a need. It depends on the person and what's going on, that they want to have met, that they're unwilling
Hmm.
or have been unable to have met through their primary relationship. And so they start to look outside. So to me, there's a breakdown of communication and a breakdown of, trust, or with that's already happened within the relationship.
Hmm.
Um, and so you can have someone who has needs or desires that they just don't feel comfortable sharing, or maybe they've shared and it's just not, it wasn't reciprocated or wasn't received well. um, or maybe they've had conversations for years and years trying to have their needs met,
Mm-hmm.
And expressing themselves. And after, so long, it was just like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and have my needs met and make
Right.
this connection. And people do that for very different reasons. Sometimes it's sexual, but I would
Mm-hmm.
say mostly, especially in my, companion business, it's not sexual. Most of the time it's really just, wanting to be adored, wanting to be present, wanting to be listened and heard, and like just have someone there that's
Mm-hmm.
spending time with them and excited about them, like exactly what they look like, exactly who they are today. And I think that's what's
Right.
missing, because when you go home, it's like, you guys have been dealing with a day at work or a day with kids, or both. And people it's kind of like just ships passing in the night. It becomes very functional with household
Mm-hmm.
management to just get through the days that people forget about or neglect. Hey, wait a second, like I really need that snuggle, or that that connection.
Yeah.
Even just hugging, like starting out with hugging each other more and making it last for like 30 seconds. I mean, you'd be
Mm-hmm.
surprised at how much that gets, kind of the juices flowing. So,
I believe it. Now, would you say, let's say there's a guy or a female
mhm.
that has told their partner that they want, let's say, multiple partners, or they want, just to have flings from now and then again. And I say the female says, okay, let's do it. And then he does it. Is that cheating?
No, because
Okay.
I mean, I don't want to say like he got permission, because I think that like the other thing is we're all adults. Like I don't need
Mm-hmm.
permission to go do
Right.
whatever, or,
Right.
you know, um, and I think that that's, I mean, that's part of the thing that people are struggling with right now, or they don't even know it, is that the way
Mm-hmm.
that we have these relationships set up is like this, there's this kind of parental element going on.
Yep. And
And
that's what.
that will kill sex in a heartbeat between two people.
Yep. And that's why I said,
Yeah.
even when you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, it's like you're married nowadays. It's like there's no room for anything other than being with that person in most cases.
Right. And even well, and that's why like renegotiating, like what, it's almost like we got to this point and now we're just kind of like, what the hell, how did we get here? And I
Right.
think that
Right.
that's where I feel it coming. And maybe it's because of this quarantine, because like when you and
Mm-hmm.
we talked on the podcast before, like people are at home and they're having to face the reality of their life and the reality of their relationships and their partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's been probably eye-opening for some people. And my hope
Absolutely.
is that as we get more and more awake and conscious with what we're doing, that we do begin to revisit some of these social norms that we've just accepted, because it's not working for us. It is
It's
not
a lot of people.
working.
Yeah.
And so, yes, being able to have a really open dialogue, and some conscious choices, around things. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
that means experimenting, even if it's going to cause really difficult emotions. Like then you just handle
Right.
that and deal with that. Um,
That's awesome.
but when you have what I call, all these restaurants, I call them drive-through unconsciousness, is
I
like,
thought you were gonna, I thought that was gonna be a sexual reference. Drive through. It's like Stacy.
like drive-through blowjobs. I don't know. What would that be? Boy, that would be a day.
That would be a day. I would,
It'd be like for us, we have In-N-Out. It'd be like the In-N-Out line. It's like all the way around the block.
oh my goodness, it would be a long line.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
How do we get off topic?
See, I can see us going that way in
Well, it's
in
a
a
good
minute.
thing that we have full range of whatever we want to talk about. So
We do. But we're at our 15 minutes, but we have like a million questions. So we're gonna wrap this session up so they can come
good.
back next week. So
All
they can
right.
come back next week for some more Ask Stacy.
Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself during this, crazy time, and just, take some deep breaths and know like we're all going to be okay.
Yeah, we are. We
Yeah.
are. Especially if they keep listening and tuning in to Ask Stacy, they'll be just fine.
Yes. Please tune in next week. We're gonna have fun.
Yep,
So
we are. Absolutely. It's already starting. All right. That's it for this week. And thank you all for listening. And we'll see you again next week.
all
Goodbye.
right. Bye.